Welcome back to another episode of the Rewind and Rewatch podcast. My name is Joel.
And I'm Andrene.
And we are siblings rewatching and reviewing and rating 90s movies to discuss how well they've aged and how likely we are to rewatch them again. Episode 52, I believe we're up to now.
Maybe?
And
yeah, I think that's right.
We're just going to say that's what it is. And we've got Billy Madison this week. Adam Sandler's Billy Madison from 1995.
Yeah, this is our first Adam Sandler movie.
Okay, yeah. When you hear Adam Sandler, what do you think of?
I think of Big Daddy.
Okay.
Because I feel like that was the one for me that I enjoyed. Like, I remember...
The one that you...
Yeah, because, I mean...
The one that you enjoyed.
I mean, spoiler alert, I'm not generally a huge Adam Sandler fan. So I feel like I've seen snippets of movies here and there, and I feel like most of the time I'm just looking at it like, this is not great. Big Daddy, I feel like I enjoyed, but maybe it was because of the kid.
Right.
And I'm not even sure if watching it back now, I still would enjoy it, to be honest. Yeah. But at the time, I enjoyed it. And then later on, I really enjoyed 50 First Dates.
Okay. I feel like he's done more like serious roles after the 90s. Certainly in the 90s, he was doing a lot of these like goofy movies. This movie, Big Daddy, Little Nicky, you know, Happy Gilmore. Right. But then he did like Punch Drunk Love, and then he did like this movie where I don't know, I didn't see it, but he did some other movie where it was serious.
He did Funny People.
Okay, yeah,
it's not
right.
really a funny movie.
And then he had that movie a couple years ago where he was like the NBA scout, and he went overseas to I can't remember what it was called, but that was really good. It was on Netflix. Oh, and then he also had the one about him being like a gambler. What was it?
I know what you're talking about.
Hidden Gems or something like that.
Yeah, maybe.
That's not what it's called.
I feel like I wrote down like a lot of his earlier stuff since like we're doing the 90s stuff. So for instance, like he was on SNL first and foremost. And that goes back to like 1990. Then he did Airheads in 94, Happy Gilmore in 96, The Waterboy, not Waterboard.
Waterboard.
The Waterboard.
That's a different film.
That would not be a comedy. In 98, Wedding Singer, 98, Big Daddy, 99, Little Nicky, 2000, Mr. Deeds, 2002. That movie I remember watching and being like, this is horrible.
Mr. Deeds is very bad.
Oh my God. Anger Management. I mean, there's so many. There's so many.
So the movie I was trying to think of is called Uncut Gems.
Oh, okay.
And that's the movie where he's like gambling addict. And then the basketball movie is called Hustle. And that has Anthony Edwards from the Minnesota Timberwolves in it. Oh. Playing like a version of himself, which was kind of interesting. That movie's good. Okay. Hustle is good. But yeah, I feel like in more recent years, he's definitely gone a little bit more into the serious side. But this is not the Adam Sandler that we're seeing in 1995.
No, not even close.
Before we get into the nitty gritty, who requested this film?
This is requested by Megan and Drew.
All right.
So shout out to both of them.
Shout out to Megan and shout out to Drew. All right. I think we should start off with a one-sentence summary. Your favorite thing to do on this pod.
All right. So one sentence. There's a gun to my head.
There doesn't need to be.
And have I told the gun to the head story on this podcast?
I feel like you have at least twice.
Oh, okay. Well,
or at least once, maybe.
I won't.
Maybe twice.
I won't tell it again. But what I will say is, the other day I was talking to my husband, and I wanted him to pick between two alternatives, and he wouldn't pick. And I was like, "Babe, okay, there's a gun to your head. You have to pick A or B." And he was like, "I just pulled the trigger."
Wow. I choose C, death.
And not even like you can shoot me. He said, "I will pull the trigger," which is even more.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was tickled by that. This movie, Billy Madison, is about a spoiled, slightly mentally incapacitated young man who has to pass first grade through high school in order to inherit his father's Fortune 500 company.
Yes, and his father is a very rich man who runs a chain of hotels.
Yes, Madison Hotels.
And so you brought up something in the one sentence summary that I really wanted to kind of talk about, because I guess I was trying to figure out, like, is he supposed to have like a learning disability? Like, is he supposed to have some sort of mental incapacity? Or is it just supposed to be like, this is a silly guy? Because I feel like they don't really address the fact that he's like an actual idiot.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, oh, you know how he is. He's so immature. And the reason that they give is that he never really had to pass his classes growing up because his father was basically just paying off the schools to pass him. So now it's like, if you want to take over the company, I need to know that you can actually pass all these grades on your own.
Which is ridiculous.
Okay. Yes. The premise of this movie is very ridiculous. I guess my question was like, are we supposed to believe that he acts this way simply because he was never forced to take academics seriously?
Yes. I think that's how they are going about it. Because it's very much like, oh, you're not applying yourself. Like, you're able to do it, but you choose not to. But I'm like, the way he's acting, it's not as simple as this is a spoiled brat or this is someone who's entitled. We've seen that before in Cruel Intentions. We've seen the teens that can do whatever they want because they have money. But it's like, the way he acts is so childish that it's like, he's supposed to be, what, 27? There's no way a 27-year-old is acting like this unless there's something mentally wrong with you. Like that, like, I was watching it and I was just like, bro, something like...
At one point he started making up words.
So I have...
He was just making up words.
I have thoughts about that scene. I have so many thoughts about that scene. Let's just get into it, because that part really, really annoyed me.
Yes.
So basically,
wonderful.
Billy gets called to this dinner with his father. His father, by the way, is his name is Brian Madison, and he's played by Darren McGavin. Darren McGavin was the Pops in A Christmas Story.
Mm-hmm.
And he also was in like...
Yes, that's right.
He also was in like a lot of older movies, like from like the 50s and all that. He has since passed away, so R.I.P. to Darren McGavin. But his character basically has all these different business associates come to the house, this huge mansion, for a business meeting / dinner. And Billy, of course, is there because he's supposed to be inheriting his father's company when his father retires. And first of all, he's sipping his soup in a way that like maybe looked a little bit better than how the Beast ate his porridge in Beauty and the Beast.
Maybe
a little bit better than that.
Slightly. But
it's just like, it's very juvenile. And then like he starts doing this gibberish thing where he's just like making up words and he's pointing at people.
Please, Billy, please, no gibberish tonight, please, I beg you.
Sorry, Daddy.
This is a big night for me tonight, gents. I have an important announcement to make. That's it, Billy, get the hell out of here!
And it's supposed to be very funny. Like, I think
yes.
It's clearly supposed to be like, oh, look at this guy, he's such an idiot. Ha, 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 ha. And I couldn't help but watch this and be like, I feel like this is like a poor attempt to be like Jim Carrey. Because I feel like if Jim Carrey had done this scene, it would have been a lot funnier. In my opinion.
That's interesting. That didn't even cross my mind.
Because I'm like, when Jim Carrey does his bumbling stuff, like, it's funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when he did it, I was just like, it just, I don't know.
Didn't hit?
It didn't hit at all.
It didn't hit for you?
At all. What about for you?
No, I can't say that it hit for me either. I mean, I've never really been a big Adam Sandler fan. And speaking of which, there's a cameo in this film with Chris Farley playing a bus driver.
Oh, yeah.
And he's another guy that never really hit for me. Like, I feel like he's so over the top that it's just supposed to be funny because he's being over the top.
Yeah.
But it's not actually funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's like cheap humor. Where it's just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just make crazy voices and, wear shirts that are a little bit too tight for my stomach. God. And like, Chris Farley things, falling through furniture and things like that.
Stuffed sandwiches in my mouth.
Yeah. And then Adam Sandler's just like making silly voices and, singing to his what's it called, sunscreen bottle.
Suntan lotion is good for me. You protect me. Hee hee hee. That's what he did.
That is what
That's
he did.
What he did.
We also see him singing to his shampoo and conditioner while taking a bath.
Shampoo is better. I go on first and clean the hair. Conditioner is better. I leave the hair silky and smooth. Oh, really, fool? Really?
And then he shows up to this business meeting in like Bermuda shorts and like and like a golf shirt.
He's a child.
So yeah, it wasn't really hitting for me either. And I was actually saying to Andrene before we started recording that like my memory of this movie was that it was much funnier than I actually thought that it was rewatching it. I was like, oh wait, I thought this movie was like a lot funnier. Like there are certain moments that made me laugh, and I'll talk about them. But as a whole, wasn't really hitting. And I think another question that like a big question that I had watching this movie is like, I feel like this movie would have been funnier. Because even I was watching with my partner, and she's like, I remember thinking this movie was like hilarious when it came out, but also, I was like 8,
Right?
And I'm like, is this movie actually supposed to be
for kids?
Like, is it supposed? Yeah, like I can't tell if this movie is supposed to be like funny to children because it's very juvenile humor, or if it's supposed to be like for stoners. But like, it's certainly not supposed to be a comedy for like mature adults. Like, it's definitely not that. So then it's like, oh, is this target audience just like preteens? Or was this supposed to be like a stoner film? But they're not stoners in the movie, but the way they act is like...
That's the thing too. It's like, I felt like I was very confused about his friends. Like, who are these people?
It's, it's Norm Macdonald. And some other guy. I didn't know who the other guy was, but I remember it was Norm Macdonald.
But yes. We had Norm Macdonald, who of course had the Norm Show. And he also was on SNL for quite some time. And then the other guy, his name is Mark Beltzman. He was in Wedding Singer, Mo Money, as well as Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh, there you go. All right. So I should have known.
But the way they were acting, like you said, it was like they were high the entire time. So much so that at multiple points throughout the movie, Billy Madison ends up like hallucinating there's a huge penguin that's walking around the mansion. Yeah. And I was like, yo, when you get drunk, you don't see things like... That didn't make sense to me. I'm like, they're not on any. They're not on shrooms. They're not on any.
They're just getting drunk. They're drinking daiquiris and Budweisers. But
why?
Yeah, I'm not really sure why he was hallucinating from being drunk.
That was so weird.
And I thought it was also interesting the way that all the businessmen, with the exception of Eric, kind of were like completely, I don't even know what the word is, but like they had like no reaction to Billy. It was just kind of like, oh yeah, like this is just the way he is. And Eric was like, yo, this guy sucks. Like, you can't give this guy your company. And I feel like they had like this half-ass like villain arc for Eric.
Yeah.
Was like, oh, I hate you, Billy. And Billy's like, oh, that guy's such a jerk. But it's like,
I'm like, yo, Eric's right.
It's like, yeah, it's like Eric's probably actually better off to run this company.
Yes.
So I had a hard time like really seeing him as a villain. And I feel like half of the movie also was just him like sitting in a dark room looking upset. Like it he wasn't really like a part of the movie until like the last 30 minutes.
Right.
When he decides to blackmail the principal.
Right.
But it's like, up to that point, he's just like, oh, Billy, you're definitely not going to pass. He's like, I am going to pass. And then he keeps passing. And he's like, Billy.
And he has this chart. And he's like watching him move like from desk to desk.
From grade to grade.
And I'm like, you took the time to like cut out desks and write down 1 through 12. I'm
not sure why he was doing
like
that.
A picture of his head and moving it over. Shouldn't you be working at the company?
Oh, man.
So that was very bizarre to me. But yeah, that whole arc, I agree with you. I did not see Eric as a bad guy until, of course, he ends up pulling a gun out.
Yeah, well, that is the Michael Scott School of Improv. When in doubt, just pull a gun.
out. So
It's like a very like cheap way to escalate the drama in a story. It's
yeah,
like,
exactly.
oh wow, there's a gun.
What else can we do?
It's like, why would there be a gun? Why would he have a gun? Why
There
would
was
he have
really
a gun?
no reason for him to have one.
He's
at
not
all.
a thug. He's
Yeah.
not a gangster. He's not like he doesn't do anything other than like work for a hotel company. Why would he pull a gun on this guy?
So going back to your point about how the other businessmen had like no reaction to Billy, I too was watching this and I noticed that every time Eric would complain, he would be complaining to the other worker. What was his name? Carl. So Carl his name is Larry Hankin, is the real actor. We saw him before in Home Alone. He was the police officer who was eating a donut on the phone. Yeah. And Carl, he would complain to Carl all the time. He's like, oh, I can't believe, so what? He passed the second grade. It's not a big deal. And Carl's like, everybody's having a good time at this party. Like, why can't you? And I'm sitting here like, Carl, like, what is your motivation? Why are you thinking that Billy would be good for this company? I just couldn't understand. Like, he was consistently backing him up. Like, Billy, look out. I think, Eric got something up his sleeve. And I'm just like, why are you rooting for this guy?
Maybe he wanted the company to fail.
He worked there for 25 years.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't understand.
I didn't understand.
I mean, at the end of the movie, when Billy finally gets control of the company, he even realizes, like, I can't do this, and gives the company to Carl. So it's like, even he realizes he shouldn't be doing this.
No.
And yet Carl didn't realize it, and he's supposed to be like the consigliere. Like, he's supposed to be the wise one of this group. And he's like looking out for Billy. So it doesn't really make sense in that regard.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. So do you want to talk about just this whole idea of him having to pass every grade? I don't understand how you graduating high school means that you are fit to run a company.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
So from the get-go, it was just kind of like, I don't even know.
The entire premise of this film is very silly because it doesn't actually make any sense. But
and then the way he would pass the grades, like he passed first grade because he was able to draw a blue duck.
Mm-hmm.
And then he passed second grade because he was able to win the spelling bee by spelling the word couch.
Which he guessed, by the way.
Well, right.
So again, it's like he's a 27-year-old man and he doesn't know how to spell the word couch. So I'm like, yo, what are we supposed to understand about this character?
Yeah. Not to mention, during that dinner scene you were talking about earlier, at one point he bites a man's arm.
While he's shaking his hand?
Yeah, he's like, and like,
he did bite his hand.
Like, I feel like it's funny talking about, but watching it, I wasn't laughing.
You weren't laughing
at all. I was just making up my face like, this is ridiculous.
Oh man. So there are two women in this movie that I definitely want to talk about.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
And the first one is Juanita.
I was waiting for this.
Who was like Billy's like mammy character. Yeah. Like, I wasn't really sure why. I wasn't sure why there was a mammy in 1995.
She's definitely his nanny, because when he's talking about the people that live in the house to his teacher later on, who I'm sure we're going to talk about, he says to her, like, oh, it's just me, my dad, he's like Juanita, and then like the maids and the butler. So I'm like, so Juanita is not a maid or a butler.
No, Juanita like basically raised him, but also like packs his lunch and also takes out his clothes and also hits on him constantly.
I mean, it's incessant.
You know I like snack pack. Why can't you just give me a snack pack?
I thought I was your snack pack.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
Bill, you're gonna miss the bus.
Yeah, you better get your beautiful buns up that driveway.
She's talking about how she can like take off her shirt for him if he wants, and he's like, no, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Like, talks about like his how cute his butt is, how good he looks. And it's all very uncomfortable to watch.
It's over the top.
It's really uncomfortable to watch.
Literally every time she's on screen, she's hitting on Billy. And not even like hitting on him, like throwing herself at him.
Yes.
Yes. Which is a strange dynamic if she's like responsible for raising this guy.
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, he grew up and now I think he's sexy, so now I want to have sex with him. So it's like, that was kind of weird. We don't know necessarily. I don't know if they said specifically that Juanita's been there for his entire life. So maybe she didn't raise him, but they definitely seem to have like a maternal relationship. So then it was like, yeah, like her hitting on him just felt wrong. And even dumbass Billy is like, yo, this is wrong. So he keeps turning her down. The other character, I don't even know if I got her name, but this fourth grade teacher, Miss Vaughn, right? Miss Vaughn, the fourth grade teacher that eventually becomes his girlfriend. And as soon as he shows up to the school and we meet this character, it's like, oh, okay, so obviously he's gonna fall in love with this woman. Like, this is fairly obvious.
She's the hot girl, obviously. She is played by Bridget Wilson. She was in Mortal Kombat in 95. I Know What You Did Last Summer in 97, as well as House on Haunted Hill in 99.
She was in I Know What You Did Last Summer?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, okay.
You're thinking about a different...
I was thinking about Scream.
Yeah.
I'm like, she wasn't in that movie. Yeah. The other one. The one that's not Scream. So I feel like we've talked about this a number of times on this podcast as well, but it's like, I feel like this is another example of the hot chick hooking up with the main character of a movie for no apparent reason at all. We talked about this last, I think, when we did Major Pain.
Yeah.
And there were a number of other examples, like Can't Hardly Wait. But obviously, she looks like a supermodel.
Right.
So, of course, Billy's going to be attracted to her. And when she meets Billy, she's basically disgusted by him. She thinks he's a buffoon. And she's basically turning him down and, like, basically, like, cussing him out and calling him all types of things.
Right.
And at some point, they go on a field trip. And he is in the back of the bus talking with a bunch of other fourth graders.
No.
And they double dare him to try to touch her boob.
Yeah.
And at first...
Well, to be clear, he double dared himself.
So at first they're like, yo, I dare you. And he's like, I can't just go and touch her boob. That's assault.
So I'm like, oh, yes.
Do you double dare me?
Right. So first I'm like, oh, he's not going to do it. This is great. And then he follows up with that. And I was like, oh.
So he pretends to trip so he could like land on her chest.
Ugh.
And she heard the conversation. So she knows that he did it on a dare. And then immediately after that, they're on the field trip and they start talking and laughing and smiling with each other. So I'm like, wait a second. So she thought that this guy was an idiot. And then when he fell on her chest and tried to graze her breast, this was the turning point that made her think that he was a good guy.
But did you catch what she said to him?
No.
So they're talking and he says to her like, oh, you know, sorry about that back there. I was trying to look cool in front of the kids or something like that. And she smiles and says to him, well, you're not the first person who tried to grab my chest, and smiles. And I was like, what?
I didn't even catch that.
No,
line.
bro, it blew my mind. Because I'm like, this is your justification? Like, oh, it's happened before, so I guess, like,
yeah,
you know, it's free reign for anybody.
But it was also,
like, what?
It was like, there was no, like, even if we talked about, like, oh, like Beauty and the Beast, right? Which is a couple episodes ago, where Belle is disgusted by the Beast. But then the Beast saves her life and he kills the wolves when the wolves are trying to attack her. So then it's like, there's a moment that happens that allows her to see him in a different light. This is a Disney film for children, right? Now, juxtapose this to Billy Madison, which is maybe also for children.
Who knows?
Still TBD on
PG-13,
that.
PG-13, so I don't know.
There's no, like, connecting justification for her to change her opinion of him.
The only
other than... he tried to grab my boob to impress a bunch of 10-year-olds.
The only thing I can
like
think of,
that is bizarre.
The only thing I can think of was that when his classmate peed his pants, and then he felt bad for him, and so he wet his crotch.
That was nice.
And then the other kids were like, "Oh, look, Billy peed his pants," pants? And Billy's basically like, well, all adults pee there. And I'm kind of just like,
He said, "Oh yeah, peeing your pants is
it's
cool."
cool. Which again, it's like, I thought the next step was that everybody was going to start peeing their pants.
Yeah, so did I.
And I was like, this is going to be a disaster. That didn't happen somehow. No one else did it. But
he was like, "Oh, you peed your pants too?
oh
Nice."
yeah, he's cool.
It's like,
So it was
that
like-
worked. All right.
I mean, I guess it was nice to look out for that other kid, and maybe she saw that as like he's kind-hearted or something. But also, I feel like that may have happened after the conversation about the boob.
I feel like it did.
So the timing may have been a little off there. Either way, that wouldn't have been enough for me to be like, well, it's okay you try to touch my boob because you pretend to pee your pants.
Yeah,
Like,
I didn't really get it.
I don't
And then,
really know.
so like immediately after that, and his father's throwing him an elaborate party every time he passes a new grade.
Just every 2 weeks.
Right. So every 2 weeks. So then he passes 4th grade. So now it's like Miss Vaughn isn't my teacher anymore.
This might be 3rd grade.
No, 3rd grade was the oh, was it? Yeah, I don't know.
I think it might be 3rd grade.
3rd grade,
Yeah.
4th grade. And so then now that he passes her class, she shows up to the party and tries to make out with him.
It was all very weird.
So it was just like, why does she want to kiss this guy? He acts like a child. And even after they, I guess, were a couple now,
God.
like now they're dating. But when she talks to him, she speaks to him like he's one of her students.
Yeah.
Like she talks to him like he's still 10 years old.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so like it just didn't make any sense. Like, what is the connection that these two people have when she started the film thinking that he's an idiot? He's still an idiot.
Yeah.
She talks to him like he's an idiot, but she wants to jump his bones now.
It made no sense.
It didn't make
At
any
all.
sense at all.
But again, it goes back to this Hollywood trope of the main character guy getting the hot girl. Regardless of how dumb he is, how ridiculous he acts, how mean he is. Because think about it, the first day in his classroom, he's making fun of a kid who's trying to learn how to read. He's like making fun of his stutter or like oh, you can't even read. And it's
Right.
like, bro, you're 27 and you're in the 3rd grade. Can we talk about that? Can we? So
I
I'm
mean,
like,
that
how
is-
do you see somebody do that, and then 2 weeks at the most later, you want to have sex with him?
Yeah.
It made no sense.
And then she's helping him like study for high school because he's way out of his depths. And like, oh, every time he gets an answer right, she takes off a piece of clothing.
Yeah. Well, that might have been when they decided to do the academic decathlon. Because what ends up happening is he gets himself into like 6th grade or something like that. But then this is when Eric ends up bribing the principal. Because and this whole storyline was very ridiculous. So the principal apparently used to be a wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
And while he was a wrestler, he did some kind of move where I guess he sat on somebody, which kind of reminded me of what's his name?
Yokozuna? No.
Remember the big fat wrestler from
Oh, you're talking about
WWE?
Rikishi?
Rikishi. I almost said Rafiki. That's
That's a different guy.
not Rikishi.
That's a different guy.
Rikishi used to basically have his bare butt out.
Mm-hmm.
And he would sit on somebody's face, which thinking about it, it's like, why are we watching this as children? He would sit on
It
someone's
was
face.
called the stink face.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Rikishi, stink face! Stink
He
face!
would sit on someone's face and basically until they couldn't breathe and they would have to tap out. So
He put the acid massive.
I feel like what was that movie? Bring It On.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly where that came from.
Patreon.
Yep,
Patreon
exactly,
plug.
exactly.
So the principal allegedly did some kind of move, and while he was doing it, the other person ended up dying. And so there was this big scandal, and somehow the principal stops wrestling and decides he wants to become a principal for elementary school. I have no idea
But
how
he
this...
did it illegally
Yeah, it's like he didn't
because
really go to school to get certification.
yeah, it's like, oh, what if they find out that you didn't actually get your teaching license?
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what? Like, so you figured this out from a wrestling magazine, but nobody at the Board of Education realized that he didn't have the credentials to be a principal.
No. So
All right,
so
fine.
when Eric finds this out, Eric basically is like, all right, well, basically, you're going to have to go on the news and say that Billy paid you $5,000 in order to pass the 6th grade. This way, it'll disqualify him. His dad will know that he cheated his way through yet again, and then I can get the company, because the agreement was he had a certain amount of time, and so the time would have run out. So, of course, the news thing happens. The principal makes the statements. The father's watching the news and finds out. He believes the principal over his son because, honestly, why wouldn't you? I mean, I'm not going to believe Billy.
Right.
And he's like, that's it. I'm giving the company to Eric. So Eric's like, I'm lit.
And Billy goes right back to just getting blackout drunk.
Yeah, and seeing penguins again for some
Yes.
reason. They're eating Doritos. They're in the pool all day. And then this is the part where it really gets ridiculous.
This is the part?
I mean, it's been the whole way through. It's been
This
kind
is
of
the
ridiculous,
part?
but this part for me, I was
This took
like,
the cake?
this is a lot.
Yeah.
This is where it starts to get really, really out of control. So he's, blackout drunk, like on a floaty in his pool, like living his best life, not doing anything. And the teacher, Miss Vaughn, shows up because like she can't believe that her Billy, her boyfriend / student, has given up and he's not going to fight for his dad's company. And she ends up beating the crap out of him in the pool. I mean,
Yeah.
she's throwing legitimate punches. Like she almost wants to drown him at one point. I'm like, what is actually happening here? It was just like, it turned like a wrestling match almost.
Yeah,
but he wasn't
understand,
fighting back.
I didn't
Like,
understand why that was the move. Like, oh yeah, let me beat him up to tell him to like go back to school and get the company.
She said,
And like, why are you invested in this at all?
right. And then she says to him, Billy, some people have no willpower, brains, or vision, but you have all three. And I'm like, well, what is the evidence of this?
There's none. He's the main character. That's the only evidence.
He has no brains. We know this.
He definitely doesn't have any brains.
Vision?
No.
Willpower?
Absolutely
No.
not.
So I'm like, how does he have all these things? It kind of reminded me of like in movies when guys are trying to holler at girls and they say things like, you're so smart, you're so driven. And it's like, you don't even know me.
Mhm.
Like, you just think I'm hot. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I guess she thought he was hot. I don't know. I didn't get it.
The only justification I could have for Miss Vaughn is if she realizes that this guy's loaded. She realizes that he's an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that she's hot, but let's be honest, she's an elementary school teacher.
Yeah.
So maybe she's like doing all of this to basically get him to propose to her.
Get a piece of that pie.
He takes over the company, and now she's rich.
Oh, that's lit.
And she can manipulate him because he's an idiot.
That's true.
So that actually
Okay.
justifies actually all of this.
Okay. I'm here for that.
It doesn't justify her jumping into his pool and beating the crap out of him. But that is the only reason I could see why Miss Vaughn would want to be with Billy, is that she could use him for his money.
That's fair.
It's literally the only reason.
So this scene somehow gets worse.
Somehow.
Because after she ends up beating the crap out of him and he decides to snap out of it and he's like, yeah, I'm not a loser. I can win. He ends up, all of a sudden the kids from the school show up at his mansion and Billy starts singing this ridiculous song.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Vaughn joins in.
Mm-hmm.
All of the kids from, I guess, his 3rd grade class show up at the house.
Yep.
And they're singing.
It turns into a musical.
Juanita starts singing.
There's a musical number in the middle of this children's film, apparently.
Yeah, and even like one of the lyrics, Miss Vaughn talks about how she has a nice rack.
She does.
And
she's very proud of that rack.
Yeah, and it's just, not only is it ridiculous, I think what really hurt me the most is that
What hurt you the most?
the song just wasn't even good.
Did you think it was gonna be good?
Well, if it was like a fun melody or something where I could be like, okay, this is dumb, but like at least it's fun, Like
yeah.
some songs on the radio, like it's not very good lyrically, but like the beat is good, so you can kind of jam to it.
Yeah, I mean, I will say
there was nothing there for me.
Yeah, and Adam Sandler does have a history of writing songs,
Right.
So he could have put something better together.
Yeah.
But it did feel a little lazy, I guess.
Yeah. So that happened. I wasn't a fan of that. And so now he basically goes back to his father and he's like, I want to fight this position. So let's do like a competition, mano y mano, which of course he has no idea what that means. And neither does Eric somehow or Carl. I don't know. And they decide to do this academic decathlon. Basically, they're going to have multiple, almost like a Jeopardy type of game show where they have a topic and they have to answer the question. And so that's when he starts studying with Miss Vaughn, and she starts doing that strip study.
Strip study? Yeah.
Where like he gets the date right, a shirt comes off. But then the more he got wrong, she started putting her clothes back on. And I'm like, this is...
No.
Oh, God. Ugh.
Well, here's the other thing. Billy challenges Eric to an academic decathlon. But then when we actually see the decathlon, they're doing like PE, they're doing like home ec. Like a lot of the parts of the decathlon had nothing to do with academics.
Yeah.
It was just like they were just doing like random high school classes. So then it's like, oh, like Billy made a better cake than Eric, so he wins that round. It's like, that's not an academic decathlon.
And I don't even, like, at one point, towards the end, they said that Billy was up by 1 point, and I don't understand how it's even possible. Because when we're seeing what they're doing, like, I couldn't think of one competition that he won.
Well, he won home ec.
Didn't he pulled a shoe out of the
No, that was chemistry. There was one, I don't
Dear
know why
God.
he pulled a shoe.
And everybody was like, oh.
And it was like, wow, how'd he make a
amazing.
shoe out of
It's
chemistry?
like, what?
And then they pan down and they see that he's only wearing one shoe. So somehow he slipped his shoe into the Bunsen burner and I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. But he did win chemistry. He won home ec.
Lord have mercy.
I remember that Eric won PE because they had a foot race and Eric was like, oh, I used to run track in college.
Right.
But I can't remember all of what they did. But I feel like they were like going back and forth. Like Billy would win one, Eric would win, and Billy would win one, Eric would win one. So then at the end, again, like Billy has a 1 point lead based on the fact that the decathlon actually had very little to do with actual academics.
Right.
Now here's where things
Here's where things get.
No, I can't. I'm not even gonna say here's. And this is the part of the movie that I actually like remember, because the quizmaster is actually like mad funny.
Mm-hmm.
He very much hates his ex-wife.
Yes.
Half the topics on the board are about how his wife cheated on him.
Correct.
And so what they basically have is, like you said, like a Jeopardy type board. Eric picks a topic that Billy has to respond to, and then Billy picks a topic for Eric to respond to.
Right.
And for Billy, Eric picks something about like, what was it? Economic something.
I don't recall exactly what it was. Was it Reflections of Society and Literature? No?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't know. It was something that he obviously didn't know anything about. So he rambles some incoherent babble.
It was bad.
And everybody in the audience starts applauding and cheering. And then that's when the quizmaster just cooks him. Like,
Yeah, that was good.
Mr. Madison, what you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
and
I liked that.
That quote is amazing. But this is the part where I'm like, wait, this doesn't make any sense. So now Billy doesn't get any points, and Eric has a chance to tie. So Billy's like, I'm going to have him, he's going to have to talk about business ethics, which is going to be so hard for Eric because he's not an ethical guy and he's a cheater.
Right.
But I'm like, wait a second. This guy is supposed to be a big-time executive. He's supposed to be next in line to take over as the CEO of a major company. And he can't think of anything to say about business ethics.
Yeah.
Like, he's completely stumped. He's just like, he doesn't even know where to start.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wait, but this guy's supposed to be smart.
But he's not ethical, Joel. That's why. That was the whole.
Yeah.
That was the whole idea.
I mean, I got it.
I
but-
figured he was gonna say burning dog poo in the human response, because throughout the film we see Billy and his boys, because they're like 8-year-olds essentially. They find dog poop. They go to people's doorsteps. They light it on fire like kids used to do, or maybe they still do. I don't know. And they laugh, they cackle when the poor person opens the front door, and they're like, "Oh, who did this? Stupid kids!" Ha ha ha. So as they show them doing that throughout the film, at one point he even asked the teacher, Miss Vaughn, to come along with them to do this. So I thought for sure it was gonna come back around. He was gonna ask about it. It's gonna be some stupid question, but then it wasn't. And I was like,
No.
why is it even a category? I was like, why is it even up there?
I guess it was just supposed to be funny. I don't know.
It's supposed to be.
I mean, you can say that about most of this movie. Like, there's a lot of things that are supposed to be funny. There are a few things that are actually funny. I thought the Quizmaster was funny.
He was.
I thought that scene with when he calls Steve Buscemi is very funny.
Bro, when he crosses his name off of the
Yes, that's very funny.
So basically, that in that scene, he goes to high school and he's a loser now, and he goes running to Miss Vaughn, and it goes back to what you were saying, how she had to basically talk to him like she's the teacher and he's a student, and she's like, "It doesn't feel really nice to be picked on or to be called a loser, does it?" And she's like, "Maybe when you student other people, think about how they used to feel." And then when he realizes this, he ends up going back and calling someone he used to bully when he was in high school, played by Steve Buscemi, and he apologizes to him for the way he treated him back in the day. And so he's like, "Oh, I really appreciate it. Great, thanks." He hangs up, he turns around, he takes a red marker. He has a list called the kill list. And
People to murder or something like that.
Yeah. And it had Billy Madison's name on it. He crosses Billy Madison's name off. And fun fact, the other names on that list were all like people working on the film.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was like a little inside joke there. The only thing I would say that I didn't particularly like about that was like after he crosses the name off, he like turns around and like puts on a bunch of lipstick and lays down. And I was just like, why did we have to add that in there? Like it kind of had that insinuation that like, you know, he's a weirdo and also he wears lipstick. Like it was just very much like,
Yeah.
did we have to do that? Like, was that really necessary?
In this film, probably was necessary.
Well, in this film.
and then Steve Buscemi ends up saving his life at the end of the film when Eric pulls a gun on him for whatever reason. And then he shows up with like a sniper rifle and shoots Eric in the backside.
Yeah, but I mean, anything with guns in schools nowadays just really not great.
There's also the question is also like why was he
there?
Like why did he show up at all, and why do you have a sniper rifle?
Exactly.
So like
that's what was troubling about it.
What was he
like,
planning to do had Billy won? Like, because Billy got crossed off his kill list.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't really know why he was there at all. Because he I don't know. It didn't really make any sense.
I didn't like that.
And then at the end, you know, Billy is able to graduate high school successfully, which results in him being awarded the company due, you know, per his father's original statements.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he decides to give the company over to Carl. And he says he's going to go to college to learn how to become a teacher.
Which, God have mercy on those kids' souls. If that's what happens.
Yeah. And then the movie ends with a number of consecutive 90s movie kisses.
Yeah, yeah.
So we have Billy kissing Miss Vaughn, and then Chris Farley is kissing the penguin, and somebody's kissing Juanita. They just basically have a bunch of people throughout the film just making out, and then that's how the movie ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, talking about 90s kisses.
Yep.
And I'm going to go ahead and combine what didn't age well. Earlier in the film, there's a hot mom when he's like in the maybe first or second grade.
Mm-hmm.
One of his classmates has this redhead mom who's single, and he likes her initially before he sees Miss Vaughn.
Mm-hmm.
And fast forward to the end of the film for this 90s kiss ending, the hot mom basically has 2 high school kids kissing her. Did you catch that?
Yes.
I was like, oh, God.
There's also a point where the guy who's not Norm Macdonald,
This other friend.
he turns to kiss someone and it ends up being like one of the students.
Yeah.
And she's like, no.
She's like, yeah, this is disgusting.
And so it's like, yeah, that wasn't
not
cool.
funny.
Like that
Yeah.
that didn't make me laugh at all.
No. What about the
But
principal?
who did the principal kiss?
No, he was trying to kiss Billy. Remember, he kept.
Oh
So there's a scene where Billy's in like I don't know what grade, second.
He's getting
whatever,
Valentine's cards from
all the girls
girls
in the class, and that was kind of like funny-ish because it's like again he wasn't creeping on them, and it's like that would happen if you had a grown man in class. I'm sure the girls in class would have a crush on him because he's a man,
Right.
And so they're all like,
and he acts like one of us.
right. So it's like Dear Billy, be my Valentine from Susan, and all the girls are touring around and smiling and waving at him all coyly. And then the last one he gets is like this very intricate design with like jewels and everything on the outside. And he opens it and it's like, be my Valentine. And it says from the principal. And the principal's in the classroom and he looks up at Billy and he smiles. And then when Billy looks back down, the bottom of the card, it says PS in black ink. And then in red, it says, I'm horny. I was like, dear God. So then when we fast forward to when Billy graduates from high school, the principal, I guess, goes to give him a hug with his diploma. And he's like, I'm still horny. I'm like, good. So I was like, okay.
Oh,
that was probably one of the funnier parts of the film, if I'm being honest. Which is not saying a lot.
Well, I guess that's another thing I was going to ask is like, what parts of this film did you enjoy? Because I think it's pretty clear to the listeners that you did not enjoy majority of this film.
I mean, I think the principal was funny because of the fact that they both were adults. And it's like, I have a crush on you. So it wasn't...
That's ideal. That's
what I'm saying, but like we've seen enough, we saw Never Been Kissed, where it's like a teacher and a student. Or even, honestly, this Miss Vaughn's teacher-student relationship is kind of etch-a-sketch. But at least with the principal, it's like, bro, you're a grown-ass man. I'm a grown-ass man. I'm attracted to you. So it was kind of just like, okay, he can say yes or no, and like it's still kind of funny. So that didn't bother me as much. But I feel like you already mentioned like the
Steve
Catalan
Buscemi
host.
scene.
Yeah, the host.
Yeah.
Talking about his wife was pretty funny. But other than that, I don't think a lot of it was actually pretty funny, if I'm going to be honest with you. But there was some stuff that was kind of nostalgic. Like, for instance, they have a scene where he's in the cafeteria with the kids, and one of these kids is, like, burping the alphabet. Do you remember when kids used to do this?
Yes, I do.
You ever tried?
No.
Never?
I wasn't a burp on demand guy. I never
You didn't hone that skill?
I never downloaded that into my arsenal. I could never do the burp on command. That wasn't in my toolbox.
Like, I always thought it was gross, but also like, how do you do that? Like I didn't want to
how they do that.
I didn't want to try, but it was also just kind of like, how are you able to burp the alphabet? Like,
I don't know how they do that.
I couldn't
It's
understand.
a gross skill to have, but it is a skill. It is still a skill.
That, and then like kids like putting their hand under their armpit and making the fart noise.
Mm-hmm.
That was big when we were growing up.
Oh yeah.
So a lot of it was just kind of like, I was just getting like nostalgia of.
I had beans for lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, he loves beans.
God.
Also, his first grade teacher, which we didn't talk about at all, was like us. Like she was high, right?
Oh, okay, yeah. So the
Miss
first,
Lippy,
the first,
like she's definitely on drugs, and she's teaching these kids while she's high.
Yo, Miss Lippy, the first time I saw her, I couldn't help but think about the big comfy couch.
Oh,
If you
wow.
look up the girl from the big comfy couch,
I'm gonna look it up right now because I don't remember what she looked like.
I just kept being like, why does Miss Lippy remind me of her? And then
Oh man,
and then I Googled her and I was like, yeah, she kind of gives that vibe. Like
that's
she
crazy.
she was just very, oh, that's another thing I wanted to bring up. That
Miss Lippy?
that dodgeball scene. Oh, so you thought it was funny.
When he starts belting
You
everybody?
thought it was funny. I hated
that
it.
was funny.
I hated it so much. I was like, bro, you're throwing this ball hard as hell against these little kids.
I did enjoy that scene.
Of course you would. I did not enjoy that scene. I was like, these poor
I
children.
liked him belting those kids. That was funny.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because at first he gets hit, and then he tries to go back inside. He's like, all right.
I'm out.
And Miss Lippy's like, this is my time for myself to like, I don't know what she was doing, meditating and dancing around the classroom.
Interpretive dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have to go back outside and play. He's like, all right, you want me to go outside and play dodgeball with these kids? Great. And then he just starts
He went
pelting
crazy. Yeah, I didn't care for that.
and killing them at basketball and like doing
Yeah, like
things.
all of that, it was just like, you're a grown man and you're beating these kids at games that you're obviously more well equipped to play. It just like, to me, it's just like, this is dumb. I mean, I guess you enjoyed that part.
I did.
but
I did.
I didn't. It didn't. Nothing for me.
Um,
Do you want themes or do you want facts?
we could do facts.
Okay. So the cackling woman in a hairnet who was
The
mad,
lunch lady?
yeah, who was like that,
The Sloppy Joe? Yeah.
So it's based off a Adam Sandler song from an SNL skit called Lunch Ladyland. And the song is about a lady who gets in a fight with her food and is saved by her Sloppy Joe. I don't know.
This was on SNL?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what it's
I mean,
based
this also sounds like it would be appropriate for like
Mad TV?
it sounds like it would be made for like a child audience, which is typically not SNL.
I'm just telling you.
Since this comes on at 11:30 at
I'm
night.
just telling you what it is.
All right, that's fine.
I'm just telling
Yeah.
you. Because like that scene, I remember watching it and being like, why is this in here? Like I put a note. I was like, why?
That scene?
Well,
not the musical.
well, that was ridiculous. But at least that was like a means to an end. Like we're talking about him now going to try.
Right, yeah.
But that scene just felt like they put it in and then it was like, I was like, why is she laughing about Sloppy Joe? I just didn't understand. And then that came up in my fact and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that
okay.
makes sense. So it was an Easter egg for people who just knew what it was. That was not me, obviously. The actor who played the principal, his name is Josh Mostel, and he's actually an opera singer.
I thought you were gonna say he's actually a wrestler.
No, he's
That would've
not.
been fun.
He's an opera singer. You mentioned Chris Farley already. Oh, we actually forgot to briefly mention who Eric was. Eric Gordon, the guy who wanted the company,
Mm-hmm.
is played by Bradley Whitford. He is from The West Wing. He was in The Cabin in the Woods. He was the dad in Get Out. And
that's right.
he also was in Handmaid's Tale.
Yep.
So, we've seen him in a bunch of things. Oh, going back to your beloved dodgeball scene, Joel.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently he threw the ball so hard, the poor child actors were yelling, ouch, and a few cried. So the director had to cut away from their faces when filming the scene. and that makes you laugh more. That makes you laugh more. That's the sad thing. That's the sad thing. Children are crying.
Children are crying.
Children are crying to their mommies and daddies, and you are sitting there.
It's a giant red plastic ball.
Okay.
They're fine.
All right. The mansion that Billy Madison and his father lived in is also Professor X's School for the Gifted in 2000's X-Men.
Oh, that's dope.
Norm got so wasted to film that scene when they were by the pool, because of course they're supposed to be drunk people, that he ends up like passing out, and they had to pour ice water on him to wake him up.
Nice. Now that's method acting right there.
So he got into it. And then lastly, to play the part of Eric, Sandler originally wanted Bob Odenkirk to play it. He's from Better Call Saul, also
He is
Breaking Bad.
Saul Goodman.
Or
Slippin' Jimmy.
he wanted Philip Seymour Hoffman to play that character.
Oh, yeah. Shout out.
I think either one could have
Rest
done
in
it.
peace to my man, Philip. Great actor.
All right. It is...
I feel like I would be remiss if we let this episode end without bringing up O'Doyle rules.
Oh.
Gotta bring up the O'Doyles.
God.
I'm not really sure why they all just fell off a cliff and died.
Yeah, the banana peel?
Like that felt a little like wasteful.
The banana peel was very Mario Kart.
Yeah, because
Whoa,
the whole thing is
whoa.
like every grade that he goes in, there's a different member of the O'Doyle family that bullies him. And then they're just like, O'Doyle rules, O'Doyle rules.
Mm-hmm.
So like it's a theme throughout the whole film. And then at some point, the whole family is driving in a car. The car slips on a banana peel and they drive off a cliff and die. And then it's just like, wait, why did that happen?
Why did anything happen?
Like there could have been more that they could have done with the O'Doyles. Or maybe like the O'Doyles, I don't know. They come at the end and they save Billy, or I don't know. They could have done something with it, but then it's just like, oh, you had this family of bullies and then you just killed them. But every time they showed up, it was kind of like, oh, okay. It was a callback to the first bully.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I thought they kind of just wasted it at the end. As they did with a lot of things at the end of this movie.
What do you want? What do you want from this film?
I don't know what I wanted from this film.
Also, I just want to mention that Juanita was played by Teresa Merritt, and she was in The Wiz.
She was in The Wiz, and she starred in That's My Mama.
Mm-hmm.
a short-lived sitcom where she was the titular character, Mama.
Mama.
All right.
Mammy and Mama.
Yeah, she was definitely a mammy in this movie, which I was not expecting to see. It's like, all right, I don't know why they have this.
Oh, Lord.
All right, so I think the theme of this movie is that you can achieve anything you put your mind to.
God.
I mean, we're led to believe that Billy is someone who basically has never applied himself. He's had his father basically just do everything for him and give him everything that he ever wanted. And the first time he really tries seems to be in this movie, and he ends up getting his GED or graduating from high school, which I guess technically he already did graduate from high school.
Yeah.
But like he actually earned it this time. And I guess he's going to go on to college and get a bachelor's. So
And then try to become a teacher. Apparently,
Teach for America, baby. He'll get in.
Lord have mercy.
Yeah. So I think that was really the only theme to pull from this movie because.
Well, you're missing a big one.
Am I?
Being an imbecile gets you the girl.
that
was the main theme.
That was, yeah. I guess that's right. Yeah. Or it gets you the penguin if you're Chris Farley. I guess.
Yeah, because they were doing more than kissing. I feel like. It was really...
Yeah, and also the penguin is supposed to be a figment of Billy's imagination, so...
I don't understand.
I don't know. Maybe that was also... I don't know. It doesn't...
Too many Budweisers.
Way too many Budweisers. Way too many Budweisers.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
All right, well, I'm going to let you go first with your rewind rating. And this is where we rate the film from a scale from 1 to 5 rewinds to determine how likely we are to watch this movie again in the future.
I'm not going to waste time on this one.
You're not?
I'm not. The theme, like you said, there's my theme, which I think is the main theme. Even with your theme, like don't throw your life away, I still... don't know if this man would actually have graduated high school, if I'm being completely honest. I just don't see it happening.
Well, he had Miss Vaughn helping him.
Okay.
If he wanted to see the boobies, then he would have focused.
Yeah.
What did he say in the film? I want to touch the hiney.
Oh my God.
I want to touch the hiney.
I think the problem is my problem with him is like the sing-songy thing he does. He's like, Miss Vaughn, so hot.
So hot.
Want to touch the hiney. It's like, why am I talking like this?
I kind of like want to touch the hiney. I'm not gonna lie.
I feel like I was watching it every time he's saying, I would just cringe. Like, I feel like it was giving me a headache. Like, I just don't like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it.
You don't want to touch the hiney?
I don't like the tee-hee-hee. Like, all of that stuff just didn't do it for me.
Want to touch the hiney that always hits.
No, I don't want to watch this movie again. I'm not going to give it a 1. Let's just
give it a 1 and be done?
I'm done.
A 1 and done?
A 1 and
done. Yeah. This movie was pretty bad. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I feel like in my head I had seen parts of this movie before, and I actually thought like maybe I'd actually seen this whole movie before. But as I was watching it for the pod, I realized like, oh, I've actually never seen this whole film. I've really only seen like the end of it, and that's the part with the "May God have mercy on your soul."
Yeah.
And I've seen the scene with Steve Buscemi. So, like, I feel like the best parts of the movie are what I had seen before. And so I assumed that this movie was better than it was without having seen everything else, which made it significantly worse.
Yeah, fair.
I feel like there are a few like funny parts, but there's certainly not enough of them. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what other movies I've given a 1-2 on this pod to see how it compares with them. But I
It's
feel
hard
like
to remember.
yeah, it's hard to remember because I probably erased them from my memory. I mean, I feel like we kind of went in on Major Payne, and I feel like that movie was better than this one.
Because the kids kind of redeemed it.
Yeah, Orlando Bloom.
We might have given that one like a 2 or a 2.5.
Yeah, like I feel like
Yeah.
it starts out really ridiculous, but then like there's enough in the plot to like sink your hooks in where like this doesn't really have it.
Not even touching the hiney, does it?
I mean, I do want to touch the hiney. O'Doyle rules. There's a few little things. I'm gonna give this I'm stuck between like two scores right now. I'm trying to decide which one I want to give it to. Split the hairs. Yeah. I couldn't decide if I wanted to say 1.5 or 2, so I'm gonna say 1 3/4.
1.75.
Yes. 1.75 rewinds.
Okay.
Let us know if you agree, if you disagree. I feel like when we kind of went in on, I think the movie that we didn't like that people were the most upset about was The Fifth Element.
Oh my God, yeah.
Like people love that movie.
Yeah, we had so many comments on that one.
And so I feel like, especially with 90s movies, I feel like you're always more lenient with films that you have a history of.
Correct.
With. You have the movies that you have a history with. And because I don't really have a history with this movie or with Fifth Element or with Major Payne, like it's harder for me to see the redeeming values in them.
Whereas with Kindergarten Cop, I was like 4.5.
Yeah, right.
And Dave was like, "This movie is not that good."
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I feel like people are gonna be like, "Yo, how could you give this movie such a low rating?" But man, without the context of like enjoying this as an 8-year-old, watching it as a 38-year-old, let me tell you, it is not very good at all. It is not very good at all. So yeah, let us know what you think. If you think that we were too harsh, and let us know what your rewind rating for Billy Madison is. We can be reached at rewindrewatch1990s@gmail.com. Rewind Rewatch Podcast on all major social network channels. Yeah. And if you missed the announcement, we have a Patreon that is now available, and we have an episode up there. We'll be having more episodes coming. Shout out to the people who have already signed up. And if you haven't, then check us out and sign up for the Patreon.
Do it.
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it right now. All right. Any final words?
No, I'm not gonna do it.
You weren't gonna say it? You know you want to say it. You know you want to say it. You know you want to sing it.
I don't want to sing it. You can sing it.
It's so hot. Want to touch the hiney.
Oh God. Later.
Adios.